Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Friday, March 14th, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I've got iced coffee in my PlayStation mug this morning. I'm also actually wearing pretty much all WWE gear because I'm wearing my WrestleMania button-up shirt and my John Cena Toronto This Last Time Is Now shirt. Because I'm playing WWE 2K25 today on my Twitch channel. So if you have time, come out to this morning. I'm a little late this morning, not gonna lie. I woke up way late this morning, so this episode's late. I'm starting to stream late, so basically as soon as this episode goes up, I'm streaming live my WWE 2K25 on twitch.tv/Steve Saylor. So come on in and just have some fun watching me play some WWE and just geek out about it. So anyway, just want to let you know about that. All right, let's jump into the news because again, I'm late, so I don't want to waste any more of your time, even though some comments have said that I always do. I wanted to kind of also a little bit of housekeeping. This is kind of a cool special announcement. So PAX East has sort of released their their early guests at the suite of guests that they're going to be having at PAX East this year in May. And if you scroll down a little bit, you actually get to see there's me. I'm gonna be a guest at PAX East this year. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. I was added in as a special panelist this year. I'm actually on 4 panels. This is actually the most amount of panels I've ever been on at PAX. Usually it's like one, if I am on one. But I'll be doing the Great RPG Debate, Who Will Rule Them All, on Thursday, May 8th. Then on Saturday, I basically got 3 panels, kind of almost in a row. Breaking in and standing out in non-traditional careers in games, Ask Us Anything. Gaming is for everyone, accessibility in video games, and video game trivia reloaded. PAX East 2025 edition. So if you're going to be coming to PAX, make sure to come out and see me. I'll also be doing some other stuff that I can't announce just yet, but I will be, if you're interested in maybe some D&D, keep an eye out. Well, I mean, okay. It's not big. It's not a big thing. It's not like I'm going to be on, I will say this. I'm not going to be on stage doing D&D. I wish I was. That'd be really cool. That'd be awesome if I could. But there will be something D&D related while I'm at PAX. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's jump into the news proper. So we've got a rumor from Chris Scullion over at VGC that Nintendo Switch 2 will cost $400 plus and is set for the biggest console launch ever, analysts predict. A news report by Bloomberg cites a number of analysts, all of whom believe that a Switch 2 will cost at least $400 at launch, if not due to such issues as U.S. tariffs. According to the report, market observers Ija Zai, hope I pronounced that correctly, of UBS, Robin Zhu of Sanford, SC Bernstein, and Dr. Serkan Toto of Catan Games all believe Switch 2 will cost at least $100 more than the original Switch's $299 price. Toyo Securities analyst believes it will be even more than that due to the components included. The original Switch's NVIDIA chip is estimated to cost $80 per unit, he explained, while the Switch's 2 chip is likely to be in the $130, $150 range. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo goes ahead with the $499. Regardless of the eventual launch price, analysts are generally agreed that Switch 2 will sell in abundance, with some predicting the biggest launch in the history of video games. Zhu said he believes Nintendo will release Switch 2 in June with a first day inventory of between 6 million and 8 million units. In comparison, the first Switch sold 2.7 million units in its first month, while PS4 and PS5 each sold around 4.5 million in their first quarters. Toto also pointed out that Switch 2's initial success will be carried by what will likely be a strong first year of software releases from both first-party and third-party studios. They will sell boatloads of Switch 2 in the first month, in particular, almost regardless of the price, he told Bloomberg. We'd expect a great software lineup in year one, from new Mario Kart and 3D Mario after 8 years to Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4. There'll also be third-party support from day one, most probably including blockbusters like Call of Duty. Toto then posted on X that while the launch price of the Switch 2 console is important, the price of the games will also be a big factor in Switch 2's future. The hardware price is, of course, a big topic, but many people, including investors, do not consider the possible Switch 2 software prices. Toto said, I absolutely expect Nintendo's own games and major third-party games to cost $70. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was $70 in 2023 already, and it worked for them. Nintendo is hosting a special Nintendo Direct on April 2nd, when the Switch 2 release date and price point are expected to be announced, alongside initial game reveals. Now, you may be wondering, the first question you may be wondering, why is the price so high? And why is it more than the original Switch launched in 2017? I mean, it's like you could really basically rock it down to inflation. Well, inflation and also rising costs of chipsets. It used to be that basically, yeah, you could be able to get kind of pretty cheap hardware from overseas, mostly from Asia, and they can get them kind of cheaply produced, but then also be able to mass produce them. That's the other thing too, is not only can they be able to build the chips, they have to mass produce them. And when you can't do both, but you have to, if you're locked into that, you have to increase the price in order to be able to offset some of those those waiting costs for if you're not able to mass produce them, at least an amount that Nintendo could use them at, because there are like they said, there's potential that this could sell to 6 to 8 million units within its first month, and we don't know whether or not Nintendo's going to have that stock ready. That means that they're predicting they can sell that much, but whether or not Nintendo will have that much, and whether it's going to be sold out and just hard to get, like when the PS5 and Xbox Series X first launched. They didn't have as many on store shelves or available. Now, granted, that was due to the pandemic, so it was hard to be able to kind of get units out there. But we could potentially have probably over a course of a year where we're going to see the Switch. Sorry, I have to cough. We have to see the Switch basically be sold out everywhere for could be over a year. So if you're not able to get in on the pre-orders, you might be having to wait for a while in order to be able to get a Switch 2. But Nintendo could have already predicted that and basically have more units available for a lot of retailers, because knowing how big of an that could be why they delayed it, because again, the rumors were supposed to be that it was supposed to come out last year, but it's coming out this year. So a lot of it could be basically just like a combination of these things, getting more units made, making sure that the lineup for the games are all lined up and ready to go. Because yeah, they could basically, them saying that this could be the biggest console launch ever is not an understatement. That the hype for Nintendo Switch has never been higher than it is right now. And it's only going to get higher once the Nintendo Direct comes out in April. So there's going to be a lot of interest in this, and it's like PlayStation and Xbox would wish for these numbers. They would love these numbers, but I mean, it's kind of a wait and see. So again, back to the price. So the $499, or so we'll just say $400. So $399. And we'll just actually look it up. Let's see. Let's say 400 USD to Canadian, because of course I got to convert it. So it's currently $575 just for the exchange rate. So I would probably predict that we're looking at a $600 to $650 console. Just to be conservative in the price, not conservative in politics, but conservative in the price, because 600 to 650, that seems about right. I mean, it is definitely expensive. I mean, we're kind of going up into PS5's kind of territory when it comes to that, but how much it's going to cost. But that's the only thing that I kind of I'm sad about, because I've often said that the reason why that Nintendo has always been successful is, and that why they've never really pushed for extreme kind of graphics or amazing hardware, is because they want two things: longer battery life and also at a cheaper price. And because they want it so that kids can be able to get it as well as adults. And I've kind of often said that those are the two things that Nintendo needs in order to be able to be successful. It needs a lot. It doesn't necessarily need a lot of things, but those are the two main factors going into the Switch. It has to have good battery life, and it has to be relatively inexpensive, especially for families. So that $400, yes, is expensive. Again, this is $400 US. So I mean, it just depends on kind of like what internationally it's going to sell at, because of right now we're still the tariffs kind of happening. So who knows what the price may be at that point. Usually, it's kind of like with Canadians, usually we have to kind of go with the U.S. price, but who knows? With the tariffs, it could be higher, it could be even cheaper. I don't know, because there's no U.S. tariffs on Japan, or there's no tariffs for goods in Japan for Canada, so who knows? But it could be coming from the States. Also, that's another who knows. So if we're looking at 600, I don't know why there's a page, like this page is basically like this really weird. It keeps saying it's like, oh, it's not loading properly. Do you want to wait? I'm like, no, it's fine. Leave me alone. Do I think that that $600 to $650 price is reasonable? Not really. I mean, of course, I would love it to be cheaper, but I think that I think that it's a good. I think that's an indication of kind of where the like inflation's at, where console prices, like hardware costs, are at. So yes, it is a bit of a higher than I would have expected. I would kind of was hoping for maybe the 350 range. Or maybe even the 299 range. That's hopes and prayers basically of that, because I don't think that was ever going to happen of getting into the 299 range. So I was hoping for maybe like a 350. But if we're looking at 399, I mean, because the original price of what was the Switch 2? Yeah, the launch price of 299 of the original Switch, and that was back in 2017. So we're looking at basically 8 years later, inflation. Yeah, that makes sense. Like if it's going to go for $399. So if it's $100 more, and depending on the exchange rate, it could be that. Like I think that's, if you think about it from that aspect, $100 more than what it would originally sold at 8 years ago, that seems about right. Whether it's going to be more than that, we'll see. I mean, it just depends on kind of like where kind of basically the hardware cost lies and how much Nintendo wants to charge for it. So all right, actually, you know what, there was so I was gonna watch a video about this one, but it's kind of, I'm still kind of trying to focus or trying to figure out what actually is this new mode. So this is coming from IGN, written by Brian Barnett. Rainbow Six Siege X first hands-on preview. The new dual front mode reinvigorates the 10-year-old FPS. By splitting the focus, Siege X's dual front, paradoxically, it doubles down on what makes Siege a great tactical team shooter. When this is actually kind of a more of an opinion piece, I guess, almost. Yeah, it's kind of hard to read, but kind of like read the let me just see if I can find like where the actual information is here. While Siege began as a far more focused and less exploratory affair than the old Volition shooter, that's what they're talking about earlier in the article, and that quite a bit more is about to change with the arrival of the upcoming Siege X update. Apart from gameplay, graphical, and auditory and UI enhancements, it introduces what is shaping to be a fantastic new permanent multiplayer mode, Dual Front. In Dual Front, a predetermined seasonal operator pool will dictate who you can play, and team sizes are bumped up to 6 per side. Instead of spawning directly inside or outside one target area, there are 3 large areas to choose from, each with its own objective. So your team of 6 will need to split up to focus on both defending and attacking different locations simultaneously. While the scope has expanded, much of the great core gameplay remains the same. When a match starts, each team will spawn in their squad HQ, and one of 2 locations in your team sector will start a countdown to a defend mission. This is true for your opponents, so each team will need to defend one spot while attacking another. How you handle that and where you decide to go is up to you. What's more, there is a neutral zone in between the mirrored zones held by each team, and extra objectives will appear there. Completing those objectives, such as rescuing a hostage and getting them to an extraction point, will give your team a big boost in the big back and forth struggle for supremacy. So even if you fail to defend your first location or attack the enemy base, victory is still possible. Since Dual Front expands the contested space so significantly, I was moving between attacking and defending to suit this team's needs, creating a more free-flowing experience with way more variation between matches than your standard Siege match, which results in a fluid, chaotic mess I had a blast with. Okay, so now actually reading this, and actually I did watch the video, so I recommend watching the video of this on IGN's website, so I'll leave a link to that in the article. But basically, yeah, you have multiple places to be able to defend and attack. instead of just sort of the defend attack sort of gameplay of a Siege has had, where basically one's like you have to defend a building, whereas the other ones have to attack a building. This kind of gives you a little bit more variety, has a little bit more of a larger map to kind of work with. I can definitely see a lot of different sort of modes and a lot of different gameplay styles are going to come up with this game mode. And I think that actually kind of could potentially, yeah, as they says, like as the article says, could reinvigorate the 10-year-old franchise. The Rainbow Six Siege has been a big hit for Ubisoft, believe it or not. It's probably their biggest hit right now, consistently, because it's the one that everyone the dedicated fan base for it is huge, to the point where they have events like all the time of tournaments, and even my friend Camille is the host of the Rainbow Six Siege events, and so she's constantly doing stuff for Rainbow Six. So hey, good for I love Camille. Love Camille. I'm so happy that she gets to do that. That's a cool gig. But yeah, I think this could be a cool mode. And also what I'm personally interested in, because I've never really played Siege. I could never really get into it because of course like multiplayer, that kind of stuff. But the thing that I'm interested in is just this one sentence here. Apart from gameplay, graphical, auditory, and UI enhancements, it introduces what is shaping up to be a fantastic new permanent multiplayer mode, Dual Front. So it's the UI enhancements, the auditory and graphic and gameplay enhancements. So there could potentially be some accessibility stuff that's added in there. Now, it always kind of had stuff like accessibility that they kept just sort of like adding in every once in a while, but not to like a huge extent of what their full suite of Ubisoft accessibility that they've been building up. So with this, I could definitely see them being like, okay, it's a brand new game, like it's X, Siege X. Let's put in all the stuff, and hopefully that includes accessibility. I would believe so, because I definitely don't think that they would leave a franchise like this with all their games being accessible and this one not being as accessible. So I would love to be able to see what that what a lot of that stuff is gonna be like. So it's kind of just wait and see.
Missy.
Oops, sorry. And then. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's kind of where I'm going to leave it today. I know it's a short episode. I'm sorry I'm late. But the other one, it was just like, this is basically going to be a long video, and I'm like, I don't have the time, unfortunately. So yeah, basically the two stories on that. That's fine. I think it's cool. That's cool. And we'll keep it short today again. So, all right. That is going to be it for today. That is also going to be it for this week. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. I'll be back again on Monday for a brand new show and a brand new week of news stories. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for being just being subscribers to this show. Like I appreciate the comments that are coming in. I do read them, and I do agree with a few of them. So some of them are kind of like like I'm not. I agree to disagree in sense, but I appreciate the comments. I do read them a lot. And that makes me feel good that you come back and seeing regular commenters is also awesome too. So thank you so much. Take care. Have yourself a great day and a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.